Coming up next on this edition of the news, things are buzzing at the White House, but it has nothing to do with politics. We got the sweet inside story.
And rangers at one of America's most popular national parks are encouraging visitors to protect themselves with spray cans. It's a story you can't bear to miss. The news starts now.
Hello everyone, I'm Yandel Valdez.
And I'm Colin Miller. Here's what's happening. Charlie Brandt, a White House carpenter for more than 2 decades, started beekeeping as a hobby. Now he's the official beekeeper of the first ever beehive on White House grounds. You've heard of the First Family and the First Lady. Well, now it's time to meet the first hive.
When we first got into the White House, I met Charlie, who was telling me about the bees that he kept at his house.
It really came together fast from there, and we got it in here in late March, and it's been doing good ever since. Curators have told me as well that they researched it somewhat, and they can't find any evidence of a hive here in the past. So, yeah, it's pretty cool to have the first one here for sure.
You know, bees are obviously essential to the process of growing food, being key pollinators, and so for kids who are coming to visit the garden to learn about these topics, it was a great opportunity to show them the whole cycle and process. So the day we harvested was just a wonderful day and really exciting. Charlie started off by smoking the bees out, which is, you know, old school.
When you put a couple puffs of smoke here at the entrance of the hive, it causes the guard bees to not be able to communicate as well, because a lot of the communication in the hive is by the sense of smell.
I mean, there's something a little disconcerting about, you know, being surrounded by thousands and thousands of bees.
There are probably at least 70,000 bees in this hive.
He pulled out each tray of comb, and they blew off all the bees from each tray.
You just blow them on out of there, and they fly on back up into the hive. The first harvest we did last year, we did it pretty early. We pulled out 12 capped frames.
And then brought that into the White House, and when we got in here, just cut open the comb, just the very top layer. He puts it in this machine that, with a hand crank, you spin really fast.
And uses centrifugal force to sling the honey out of the cells. So we went ahead, we extracted that way.
And you end up having like a big old bucket of honey.
We go ahead and let it settle for at least a week, I like to. Gets it nice and clear. Then, after that's been done, it's ready to put into bottles, containers, whatever size you want to do.
The White House beehive is located on the south lawn near the garden.
Everyone knows that bears are attracted to honey. Unfortunately, sometimes aggressive bears also become dangerously attracted to unprotected hikers. That's why the National Park Service is encouraging hikers going to the back country of Yellowstone Park to carry protection. An advertising campaign called A Bear Doesn't Care encourages hikers planning to explore the park's remote regions to carry a can of bear spray with them. Studies shown the bear spray is more than 90% effective in stopping an aggressive bear from attacking.
Speaking of the National Park Service, the U.S. Postal Service has unveiled the last of 16 Forever stamps issued to celebrate the National Park Service's 100th anniversary. The stamp features a photograph of 2 bison captured by a nature photographer in Yellowstone's Lamar Valley. The first day of issue ceremony took place at New York City's Javits Center as part of the world's largest stamp show. It's estimated that more than 5 million people in the United States collect stamps.
Stamps are typically found on letters, and that includes letters that were stolen more than 100 years ago. The FBI announced that it recovered a letter written more than a century ago by famed naturalist Charles Darwin. Darwin, of course, is best known for his theory of evolution. According to officials, the letter was taken from the Smithsonian's Institution archives in the mid-1970s. It was found recently by FBI specialist agents from the Bureau Art Crime Team.
A pending change is coming to your wallet. The United States Treasury has announced plans for a proposed redesign of the $20 bill. And for the first time in U.S. history, the face on that new bill will belong to a woman. Harriet Tubman, best known for the heroic role she played as a conductor on the Underground Railroad, will be featured on the front of the new currency. Tubman is credited with helping more than 300 men, women, and children escape slavery in the southern United States beginning in 1849. There's more news just ahead. Here's just a brief sampling of some of the stories we'll be bringing you right after the break. A proposed downlisting by the federal government means that the future is looking up for this beloved marine mammal.
And time is slowly running out for the survival of a lonely space probe as it prepares to take a ride into the unknown. We'll be right back.
The offensive source in this quarter. Brady, hello, as the first stone. Smith tracks it down, shot at the buzzer. Sideline, he cuts it back. Can he get to the goal line? Stankham looks for his man and fell from the seat of his pants, makes the grab. Johnson gets by that first wave, bounces it outside. Johnson into the end zone. Touchdown, Lawrence Central.
The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service has recommended that the West Indian manatee be downlisted from endangered to threatened status under the Endangered Species Act. Officials with the agency, however, are quick to point out that the move does not impact protections for the manatee that are currently in place. It's estimated that there are at least 13,000 manatees worldwide, with more than half of the numbers living in Florida waters. That's in stark contrast to a 1991 estimated that placed the manatee population in Florida at only 1,267.
The European Space Agency, with assistance from NASA, made history by successfully landing a small space probe onto the face of a comet. The Philae lander was attached to the Rosetta mothership. Once Rosetta reached the comet, Philae was separated from it and sent down to the comet's surface. The probe designed to latch itself onto the comet. Unfortunately, it didn't, and as a result, it bounced several times before coming to a rest in a shaded area of the comet. Silent since its last call to the mothership, the Philae lander is now facing conditions on the comet from which scientists say it is unlikely to recover.
There's more news just ahead. When we return from the break, we're going to take you on a tour of the Arctic ice near the coast of Alaska. But your tour guide for this adventure is anything but ordinary. Scientists working with the U.S. Geological Survey are using a new kind of camera to get up close and personal with an Arctic polar bear. We'll be right back.
The offensive source in this quarter. Brady, hello, as the first stone. Smith tracks it down, shot at the buzzer. Sideline, he cuts it back. Can he get to the goal line? Stankham looks for his man and fell from the seat of his pants, makes the grab. Johnson gets by that first wave, bounces it outside. Johnson into the end zone. Touchdown, Lawrence Central.
Finally, this story. Have you ever wondered what free-ranging polar bears do to occupy time when they're out on the Arctic ice? To learn the answers, scientists with the U.S. Geological Service developed a special radio collar equipped with a video camera. The camera beams back images to researchers via satellites. It was put on a polar bear living near the Beaufort Sea in Alaska. The amazing video, the first ever from a wild polar bear, shows an animal interacting with another bear, playing with their food, and swimming under the sea ice. The video will be used by scientists to better understand the polar bear's behavior.
And that's it for this edition of the news. From all of us here in the studio, we thank you for watching and hope that you'll tune in next time.